In some families, one child can do no wrong, and another can do nothing right. It's not accidental, it's structural. If you're untangling family systems, perfectionism, or roles that never truly fit you, you're in the right place. We build up here. No performance, no tearing down, just honest to goodness growth. Let's talk about the golden child and the scapegoat. Because most people think this dynamic is about favoritism. And it would seem from the outside looking in that it most likely is. However, it's not. Surprise. It's about system protection. In dysfunctional systems, roles are assigned to stabilize the family image. The golden child becomes the proof. The proof that we're doing fine. We're successful. Nothing is wrong here. No reason to linger further. We're the perfect family. Why do I get a vision of Stepford wives? I don't know. They carry the family's pride. The scapegoat, well, they carry the family's shame. They become the container for conflict, projection. We actually have done a video on projection a couple of weeks ago, I believe, or about a week ago. So check that out if you are familiar with projection. Unspoken resentment and generational dysfunction. If something goes wrong, it's easier to blame the scapegoat than examine the family system. And here's the psychologically cutting part. The golden child doesn't win. They just don't get blamed. But they are still trapped, like the scapegoat, but in different ways. They're trapped in performance. They're trapped in expectation, in the silent pressure to never fail. And if you think, depending upon the age of the child, that is a lot of pressure to bear. That is a lot of expectations that you have to navigate and deal with without letting it overwhelm you. The scapegoat, ironically, often becomes the truth teller, the one who notices inconsistencies, the one who refuses to pretend. They're not going to acknowledge that they have a perfect family. They're most likely going to point out the inconsistencies. They're going to tell the truth because they're sick of fakery. They're sick of pretending. They're sick of living up to sky-high expectations. For what reason? What benefit? How does it benefit anyone to pretend that things are okay when they're not? And systems do not reward truth tellers, because truth tellers are the ones who blow everything up, right? They blow up the facade of the perfect family. They blow up the facade that, somebody might have a drinking problem, or the perfect marriage isn't a perfect marriage at all, right? Because my parents fight. My parents have potentially thought about filing for divorce, right? That's not polite conversation. That is conversation of someone who is sick of pretending. And oftentimes, that is that person, the truth teller's natural inclination to tell the truth, to not put on airs, to not worry about what society thinks or what other people think, but to live a truth within themselves. And guess who gets really, really uncomfortable when truth is spoken? People who cannot handle the truth. Are you thinking of Jack Nicholson right now? You can't handle the truth, right? Well, in some of these family systems, they don't want to handle the truth. They want to brush the truth under the rug so everything looks perfect, even if everything is crumbling in reality. So what happens to truth tellers? Their family wants to isolate them. They want to muzzle their truth. They want them to stay quiet. They want them to stay compliant. Now, here's where this matters as adults. If you were the golden child, you may struggle with perfectionism because you wanted to do what was expected of you. And you felt that if you performed your role perfectly, then maybe, just maybe, there wouldn't be conflict. There wouldn't be aggression. There wouldn't be manipulation and gaslighting and pain, right? No one would be unhappy with you because you were doing what you were told to do. You may fear failure immensely. You may feel loved, but only conditionally. And so essentially, you know that your accolades are what got you the golden child role. You know that you have to perform under pressure. You know that you have to do what is expected of you, or else the consequences won't be fun. You know that. If you were the scapegoat, you may over-explain because you want to explain where you're coming from, and you think that if you explain just a little bit, they might understand where you're coming from and they might not be so harsh. They may realize that you're not to blame for everything, that you do your best, but your best sometimes is never good enough for them, or most of the time is never good enough for them. You may defend yourself before anyone accuses you. Hey, I didn't do that. That wasn't me. But is it really going to matter? Because they've already put you in that role. You may carry a deep sense of, I must be wrong. And that is more tragic than it sounds, because ultimately you carry the idea that you're always wrong. Guess what? That erodes your self-esteem. That erodes your ability to trust yourself. That erodes the image of yourself that you have. Your self-confidence, how you relate to other people. It shakes you at your core of who you believe yourself to be because of the role that you've played in your family. And neither role is identity. It doesn't shape who you are. Your thoughts, your morals, your values, who you are as a person. That is your identity, not your role in the family system. Especially if you pulled a short straw, right? So you get to be the scapegoat, the person who's always responsible for everyone else's problems. Somebody stole $5 from my wallet. I bet it was you, scapegoat. Both are assignments. And the good thing about assignments can be rejected. They can be modified. They can be altered. The real work isn't proving who is right. It's stepping out of the role entirely. And you have the option to do that at any time. Your past does not define you. Your assignment does not define you. You have the ability to reinvent what you want to be, rather than being a scapegoat or the person who's always blamed, or the person that's mistreated, the person that's harshly judged. Because healing doesn't come from winning the family narrative. And here's the secret. No one wins in the family narrative. It comes from opting out of it. Yeah, you know what? This rat race really isn't for me, and so I'm stepping away. You were never the role. You were the person inside it. And expectations were built around you continuing to serve that role. And guess what? Being the person that was inside it also gets to be the person that gets to grow beyond it. Thank you for tuning in to Recovering Perfectionist Mama, Grace in Progress. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to me. So tell me below, were you the golden child, the scapegoat, or something in between? And if you feel comfortable sharing, how did that shape your role as an adult? I will be looking into the comments and definitely participating in the community. So feel free to drop those if you feel comfortable. Again, no pressure. Thanks so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.